Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Kush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. We did it. We're back, everybody. Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I, myself, am Dr. Kush. Tragedy. We're going to talk about a modern-day tragedy today. An absolute gut punch to the Tiki community. We're going to talk about all of that stuff when we are making a cocktail from Chicago, not typically known as a tropical paradise. It is known as the Windy City, and those are not tropical storms, folks. That's actually something about their politicians talked a lot. We're going to make a drink called the Lost Lake, coming from a bar called the Lost Lake. It is no longer there anymore, but we're ready. That's what we got going on today, guys. So get your Tiki hats ready, or whatever hat you're wearing. Tiki, if you could. I'm wearing my association hat, not from the bar, funny enough, that I used to work at. It's from a soccer league. Unnecessary. I realize I talk a lot on this show, but it is just me talking, so I guess that's how it's going to have to be. Speaking of talking to people, allow me to say hello to the people. Here is Tiki Tom. This is the first one I saw, so let's give Tiki Tom a little tiki. Good to see you. I know that Moose was here early, and I know that Sean was here early, but I cannot see their messages, so in fact, there's no way you can ever prove to me that they were here unless I watch this show again, and I won't. Here is Shawnee Panda Baker. He did show up eventually. Shawnee the Bread Man is here. Cheers. Let me say hello and a very happy birthday to my niece, Archer. She's back on the wall here somewhere. She's back here. She created this for me. It is her birthday. She is 9. Happy birthday, Arch. Can't wait to see you again. Got the chance to talk to her on the phone today, but you know, it's good to give a real high five to your niece. That's what you want. So hopefully she is doing well and watching the show. Don't drink any of these things for at least another 12 years. 9 in Europe. Let me say hello to DCW Clark, winner of the 2023 Kush-Tucky Derby. She has been dethroned, but that does not mean that she is thrown out. She is here and ready to go. Let me say hello to Bon Bon. Hello, Bon Bon. Just thinking about Bon Bon the other day when we were in pricing out P.O. boxes. We do not do anything quickly or with any kind of haste or any kind of urgency, but we are on our way to having Dr. Kush's exotic P.O. box. So hopefully you guys are excited about that. Richie the Whiff is here. Richie the Whiff, I wasn't going to unless you showed up, but we will be using Passoa today a little bit. We'll be using a little bit of Passoa. We are changing out. I feel so bad for Rich Whippen. He joined the community right as I thought this was the greatest stuff there ever was. Passoa. You see his name's up there. He's had his name on this bottle of Passoa for years. Must be years at this point. This bottle of Passoa has sat back here on this shelf right here, just taunting Richie the Whiff. Unfortunately, I have found a really nice passion fruit liqueur called Chinola, and I am going to give Rich Whippen the opportunity to get his name on that bottle of Chinola. I might just put it on both, because at this point, I don't know if we'll ever use Passoa again. We'll use a little bit of it today. We might try and kill the bottle of it today. So good to see you, Rich. We're going to be blending, so hopefully you're cool with that. No shaking. Just a little show history. Paul just finished his bottle of Karuba, making tonight's cocktails. Paul has already made that cocktail. Paul, as always, no spoilers. David Virtue is here. Good to see you, David Virtue. Hey-o. Not even just a hey. We get the extra letter. Hey-o, David Virtue. Good to see you, pal. Always a pleasure, as they say, never a chore. Scott Talk a Lot never says Mixed Cocktail Hour. I don't really talk until the cameras go. And then this is like my time to talk. Sometimes I'll like have a quick burst of whatever I'm kind of interested in the moment, and then I will usually apologize for talking so much. But yeah, when this thing goes, this is more or less just my therapy. So that's great. It's probably rather sleep, but wanted to join you guys. Yeah, I understand that Moose is not feeling well. Moose, go to sleep. You know these things are recorded, right? The whole reason we're doing these on the YouTube is because they have an infinite amount of storage. It turns out, and we're just storing these on there, Moose. So if you want, I can email you a copy of this show. But my goodness, yes, that is dedication, no doubt about it. You're using it in the G. I don't know what that is. Okay, yes, Kush. Rich should be on Chinola. Yeah, we're gonna give Rich Chinola as well. I have offered many times to have Rich switch his affiliation from Pessoa to anything else, and Rich said he's gonna stick with the girl he brought. And I like that kind of loyalty. I don't think it's always smart to never change your mind, but in this case, it was hilarious. So we will put Richard Whiffin's name on the Chinola, which we'll be using. I got a chance to try that um, at the Arizona Tiki Oasis. We're using Pessoa in the Goslings box. That is true. Pessoa is nice, and because it comes in 50 milliliters. Chinola does not come in 50 milliliters. So I'm looking for something that has that tartness, and we will find a way to get around that. So let me say hello. David Virtue's already here. Found one bottle of Paranubis at my local store. Yeah, Paranubis. Oh, David Virtue. Oh, David Virtue must. Let me just take a guess at who David Virtue is. David Virtue was either 1,999 or 2,000 on the subscriber list, because when they subscribed to my channel, did buy them a shot. And that shot was, of course, Paranubis. These guys were tequila people, or maybe they weren't tequila people. Maybe they're just rum people, but I was trying to introduce them to tequila. It was a blur. I was in there buying a menu. Oh, the whole thing got crazy at this little bar. And let me say hello to Dougie G. Okay, we're all here. I think we're all here. I think we're good to start. Tragedy strikes. Oh, my goodness. 2020 was a tough year. I always thought 2020 would be that year where we could all look back in hindsight and reflect. 2020 vision. Maybe we could all see our past. Well, what happened? Right around March 15th, the whole world shut down. I remember exactly where I was. I was coming back. I was telling one of the bars that I was managing, that I was the head of beverage for. It was called the Continental Club. I was just finishing telling all of them, don't worry, guys. These bars, we're staying open. What I want you to do, remember, this is a virus. Just wash your hands and don't try and talk too close to people. And let's just bump up our cleaning and go from there. And the next day, I got a phone call from the head of, I guess it was that night. That night, I got a phone call from the owners of the bars saying, hey, Kush, we're shutting this thing down for a little bit. Well, don't worry. It's March. We're going to be open in early May. Early May comes, and they said, this thing may, and this is way off. This thing may go till June. I thought, June? What? I can't do nothing until June? So what did I do? I got a robe. I got some charcoal pencils, and I tried to teach myself to draw. I followed a bunch of artists, like pencil drawing artists on Instagram. Still follow a lot of them. Mallow Art. I still follow Mallow Art. And I sat and I tried to figure out my life. And then I got an amazing text from a guy named the Apostle of Tiki. The Apostle of Tiki. We all know the Apostle of Tiki. He used to show up here a lot. He's out in actual tiki bars right now doing his thing. But he said, hey, if you're not doing anything else. And I said, time out, Apostle. I'm drawing. And then I looked at some of my drawings. I'd basically drawn a circle at that point. And he said, if you're not doing anything else, you should do your classes online. And I did. And I started on Instagram. It was a vertical format. You could see my feet in the whole thing. Basically, I had a little desk that I put on risers. Maybe I didn't even put them on risers at that point. Maybe it was like below. I think it was down here. I was making the drinks and I was sort of leaned over making the drinks. And I remember thinking, well, this is just great. And eventually I got better at the technology. I learned how to, now I have multiple cameras that we can switch to. I got this one up here now. We got all kinds of cameras now, not just the one. The point is, COVID hit and everything changed, especially for people in this industry, in the hospitality industry. Well, that happened to a lot of bars as well. Now, for me, it turned out great. I ended up starting the show, and this is the best thing I've ever done with my life. Some bars just kept getting gut punched, and one of them was a bar called Lost Lake in Chicago. They had to shut down during the initial COVID. They opened up in the September, the following September, or I guess the year later, that September, and they got hit again with the Omicron variant, and they said, guys, this is it. We just can't do it. So despite it winning the best bar in the United States just a couple years before at Tales of the Cocktail, despite it being a James Beard finalist, semi-finalist, all of those big titles, anything, any bartender, any bar, just the best they can do is usually hope to even be mentioned in the same breath as Tales of the Cocktail's best bar in the United States. These guys won it. A few years later, they were shut down. And it is, it's nice that I get to still do this, but I do feel bad for all these other bars all these other bartenders that have still been looking for jobs. So as we make this cocktail, let us just keep those people close to us, those people that are still trying to find jobs doing what they love. And we're not all so lucky. Anyway, long introduction to talk to you about this great bar called Lost Lake. It was based in Chicago, which is not known for having palm trees and sandy beaches, even beaches at all. I mean, I guess you have, the little lake there. It's a pretty big lake, but they have the lake there. And not a lot of tropicalness going on in Chicago. However, that is not what Tiki really needs. What Tiki needs is to give you a little bit of an escape. And I love Chicago, but even when I'm in Chicago for a minute, I feel like maybe I could use an escape. So they opened up this great bar called Lost Lake. Like I said, it won one of the best bars in the United States at one point. It is fantastic. And I really do think, even though this was a user suggestion, this is a viewer suggestion that we do this drink. I think I've done this one before. Even though this was a viewer suggestion, I think that this is probably one of the best examples of modern tiki. So let's get into this cocktail. Let's, as we do it, let's all remember what we were up to when that pandemic hit, and let's all think about those people that are still somewhat affected. So here we go. Alex's Life said right over in a Logan Square. So yeah, Alex is over on Twitch. I'm not based in Chicago. I know enough about Chicago, but Logan Square is the little block there that this place is based on. It's yeah. Listen. Sad. I'm based in Los Angeles. Okay. We are going to be doing something a little different because I want to finally try this rum. Normally what we're looking for is an aged Jamaican rum. That's the normal way to make this cocktail. However, I was just gifted this by a good friend of ours named Paul. This is the Breezeway Hamilton rum. Let's see if I can't just focus that a little bit. Is that any better? That's way worse. Let's just move it back. There we go. James Beard Award winner for Best Cinematography. That's what I'm looking for. Please. This is the Breezeway Hamilton rum. It is a mixture. It's a combination. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a project. It's a project between Spike's Breezeway and Ed Hamilton. And I did get to taste this one by itself very recently, and it is delicious. If you get a chance to get some of this rum, get your hands on some of this rum, or, you know, get your lips wrapped around it, I think this is a good one. So go ahead and grab whatever funky rum you want in this cocktail. We want something funky. We want something bold. We want something brash. We want it to taste like rum. We don't want this just to disappear. So like Paul was earlier, he was using Caruba. That's a great rum for this. You want to use Caruba, that's great. I want to use this one. This is the rum I'm looking for today. So we're going to be putting in a full 2 ounces of a Jamaican, or at least a funky rum, something that's got a little bit of that rum funk to it. So 2 ounces of a rum that tastes like rum. Thank you, Doug. The word I was looking for earlier was collaboration. Collaboration. I had a friend of mine that worked at the Bars with the V. His name was Ryan, a really good guy. He once told me, oh, there it goes. He once told me, Kush, I think you're so good at doing this manager thing. I was a pretty good manager. I'm not going to toot my own horn. I was a good leader of people. He said, I think you're really good because you always know the right word to say, so you never get frustrated with being unable to find a word. And then, of course, I don't know the word collaboration. This is a fun little little note. Richie the Whiff is asking, hang on, are you wearing the same shirt from a year ago on purpose? Did I wear this exact shirt when I made the Lost Lake a year ago? I did not mean to. I didn't mean to, Rich. That is some sleuthing. I did not mean to. I promise. This shirt holds no. It's the shirt that fits right now. Okay, now let's get our fruits in there. We're gonna get our fruits in here. 3 different type of fruit we're throwing in here. One of them is going to be a lime. I feel like I just started a conspiracy. Now Bonbon's on it. Oh my gosh. Yep. Rich is pretty sure that I that I did wear this shirt the last time I made the Lost Lake cocktail. It's going to make editing a lot easier. If I don't get the shots I need in this, then later I'll be able to get them from an earlier shot. Link the short, Kyle. Link the short, Kyle. I love a good conspiracy theory. Go ahead and slice your lime. You need to slice it in a way that you can see this middle bit right here. And slice that all out of there. We're going to try and get 3/4 of an ounce. Oh, Bonbon is double teaming this. She is watching she's watching this show and the old Lost Lake video. Love it. That's great. 2 eyes. Okay. 3/4 of an ounce of some lime juice. We're not shaking this one, so don't drop the limes in there. We're going to call that pretty close. Smith & Cross was the rum that go around. That sounds really good too. I should use Smith & Cross. I'm out of Smith & Cross actually right now. Otherwise, I might have used Smith & Cross. Okay. Okay. 3 different types of fruit in here though. So we need 2 other ones. We have lime in here. We're also going to be putting in some passion fruit. Now, despite the fact that's probably the time that I shot this video the first time, so maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I thought that Passoa was the absolute bee's knees of passion fruit. It is still a really, really good option for passion fruit that is stable. The big problem with passion fruit always is that passion fruit withers and turns bad very quickly. Just almost instantly, we start to lose passion fruit. You can't let it sit in your refrigerator for more than 5 days. And at that point, it's so expensive to buy that it becomes a problem. So we're always looking for new ways to do passion fruit. For a while, I thought Passoa was the end-all, be-all. This is the way to do passion fruit. And it is still a very, very good option. However, if you don't have to mail these boxes, if you don't have to mail this thing across the country, or if you just have a freezer at your place, I think that this is one of the best possible ways to add passion fruit to your cocktails. They freeze, so they stay forever. If you didn't let it, oops, clearly my freezer died at some point. Oops. Usually they come in little balls or little. Is the other one? Any chance the other one stayed as little? Let's just check this one. I got two of them in here. Oh, whew, throw that one away. Do something else with it. Let's try that again. Passion fruit. These are great because they come in little squares. They're frozen. So just trust me. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 little squares there. They have that. Where's my towel? It's on the other side. They have that really nice tartness that you're looking for in the passion fruit. No added sugar. So you can sort of make your own syrup with it as well. They're just really nice to have. I don't know. I'm really kind of big into this. So we need 3/4 of an ounce of passion fruit. I do 2 squares for every 1/4 ounce. So it turns out I am holding 6 little squares. And that's exactly what we need. We need 3/4 of an ounce of some passion fruit syrup. We'll add just a touch of sugar to make this into a syrup. So, bloop. Excellent. That should start to melt the moment you put it in there. And then we won't have, the idea is you don't want this to be really, you don't want to like suck a big cube of passion fruit. It's no good. All right. Pineapple juice. Turns out you can buy pineapples very cheaply at a little, I'm pretty sure this is I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this store before, kind of small. It's called Costco. I think it's like the cost company. Maybe, I don't know if that's called something else where you guys are. It's kind of a big store, but it's kind of out of the way. It's called the Cost Company or Costco. You can buy pineapples for very, very cheap, and then you can just make pineapple juice from those pineapples. Well, that's what we're doing from now on. So we've become very bougie at this bar until I forget to buy one and we're using it from the can again. But this is nice and cheap and easy to make a bunch of pineapple juice. We don't need a whole lot. Let me just check on my proportions here. Should have that memorized. We only need 1/2 ounce of some pineapple juice. So hit this with some pineapple juice. 1/2 ounce of pineapple juice. Time to make a video on juicing pineapple, says William Johnson. Hello, William Johnson. Good to see you, pal. Yeah, I will. If you guys are actually interested in a video on juicing pineapples, I would love to do that. It's very simple. You find a very cheap juicer and you just shove pineapples into it until you get the amount of juice you want. But we'll figure that out. Dougie says Chinola is the new passion. Chinola passion fruit is their new go-to. The only downside is that it adds ABV. That's one of the things, is you're going to have to add some ABV if you want to stick around. Passoa also has ABV, so you're going to need to add it at some point just as a preservative. I'm going to throw in just a touch of simple syrup. You do not need to put in simple syrup if you are using a sweetened passion fruit, but I am using just a raw passion fruit cube. So I'm put in just a touch of simple syrup. All right, pineapple juice. Okay, now this is where we get to be fun. This is where this drink sort of takes a fun little turn. We're going to be adding 2 lovely liqueurs. 2 of, I wouldn't say, please don't crucify me on the internet. I'm sick of being crucified on the internet. I wouldn't say that Campari is my favorite liqueur. I don't The same way that I wouldn't say ginger beer is my favorite cocktail ingredient. If I see Campari on a menu, I'm immediately thinking, okay, I know what that's going to taste like. It's going to be, they're going to use too much Campari. They almost always do. And it's just going to bring in a bitterness, and I'm not going to find all the subtleties to everything else. Same thing with ginger beer. Usually when they put ginger beer into a drink, they're covering up something, some mistake. Now, when you use it correctly, bang, is it awesome. It's an amazing version of the, it's an amazing version of an Amaro. We're gonna, these guys use it right in this cocktail. We're gonna take this Campari right here, and we're not gonna put in a ton. We are just going to put in 1/4 of an ounce, 1/4 of an ounce of some Campari. You don't need anything bigger than 1/4 of an ounce. This is kind of like adding Angostura bitters to a cocktail. So 1/4 of an ounce of Campari. Tiki Tom asking, anyone have a favorite inexpensive juicer they want to recommend? I do. As a matter of fact, I do. Kyle, would you put the name of our juicer into the thing? It is, I was just earlier today saying I wasn't really a big fan. I didn't think we needed a juicer at the bar at any point. And then we got one, and we got this one that we have, and it is awesome. Super easy to clean. They don't not sending me any money. I had to buy the juicer. Super easy to clean, and it makes it really pulls everything out. It's a masticating juicer. It's spectacular. Yes, I love a loofah butt. I've never said, I don't think I've ever seen it spelled out like that. A loofah butt. If you go on to Amazon and put in LUFVEBUT, a love the butt. I think they're trolling me at that point. The love a butt. I don't know. All right. I would say, if you were to ask me, is this my favorite liqueur? I would have a hard time saying no. This is maraschino liqueur. It is made from Marasca cherries. The Luxardo company has I guess they have a proprietary call. They call dibs on the Marasca cherry. So only these guys can make maraschino. It is delicious. It doesn't taste like cherries. It has some bitterness to it. It has some roundness to it. It's just a great liqueur. Same thing, though, with Campari. If you put too much, the whole thing's going to taste like this. People do, I do think people are afraid to use too much Luxardo maraschino, which is why nobody puts too much maraschino in their liqueurs. People are afraid of it because it tastes bad if you put too much in. It doesn't just taste plain like Campari tastes. It tastes bad. Okay. 1/4 of an ounce of some Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Let me just get this for thing. 1 ounce of some Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Surprised nobody said anything yet. 1/4 ounce of some Luxardo maraschino liqueur. What cocktail instigated the Luxardo use? That is a good question, William Johnson. Do you know what cocktail it is? Bonbon says it's the last word. It wasn't the last word. The last word is very new. Maraschino liqueur has been around for much, much longer than Luxardo. Luxardo maraschino liqueur has been around much, much longer than the last word. Luxardo maraschino liqueur used to be added into cocktails, and you could call them an improved cocktail. Same thing with absinthe. So it's been around for a long time. I don't know what cocktail first brought Luxardo maraschino liqueur into it. We're going to have to find that out, though, because that is pretty awesome to even ponder what that could possibly be. Has anyone ever had to buy a second bottle of Luxardo? Yes. I bought a few. Okay. Now, in honor of our very, very good friend and the owner of Pessoa, the bottle that will not die, we're going to put a splash of Pessoa in here just because. Just take a little bit of a passion fruit liqueur, and we're just going to pour it in there real quick. Thank you, Rich. All right. We have, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but we do have the big glass out because we are not going to be shaking this one. We are instead going to be drink mastering this one. There we go. Lots and lots of ice. Bring up our drink master. Oh gosh, that is, we're going to have to do drink master from this shot. Well, we'll switch it back and forth. Plug in the drink master. There we go. We're going to throw the drink master right in. There we go. Right in there. And here we go. Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll bring in this one. We haven't used that one much. Perfect. This is the Hamilton Drink Master. It is not meant to blend the drink. We already put in crushed ice. That's important when you're using a drink master like this. So don't put in full ice and expect it to crush it down. Basically what this is doing is it's going to whip it around. It's going to put its own bubbles in there. It's going to move some of the ice. So some of the ice is going to melt, but it's going to keep the ice basically the same consistency we want because we've already pre-crushed it. So let's give this a little once around. Oh, this one. See all those bubbles forming? That's what this thing is really good at. There we go. Put this here. Pull this off there. There we go. I still have not figured out the 4-camera setup with my feet, but we're working on it. We're going to get it there eventually. This now, very frosty, incredibly cold. It has all of these bubbles in there. You see all those bubbles? We're not going to get that many bubbles from a shake. We're going to get more of those bubbles from the Drink Master. That's what we're looking for with this, not necessarily to crush any ice. Some of the ice will have melted, but it should not have been pulverized at all. Pour this guy right in. There we have it. Now I don't know where to put that. Put that right there. This is a glass from our good friends at Tonga Hut. Thank you, Tonga Hut. Because we made our own pineapple juice today, we will throw in some pineapple fronds here. Throw them right here. Take one pineapple frond there. These things just pull right out. Another pineapple frond right there. We have a little umbrella. And why not? We have a little bit of lime here. There we go. Pretty good looking drink right there. Pretty good looking drink right there. I feel like we got it on a couple angles, looking really nice. We're gonna need a straw. Oh no. Is that a straw? Nope, that is not a straw. That is a chopstick. We'll use this. Throw this guy in here all the way deep down. Perfect. And thus we have it. What am I linking in the description? 4 cameras. I'm trying to get 2 to work. Yeah. Good to see you, Low Carb Cocktail Guy. I am trying to get 2 cameras to work as well. So I don't know why I decided I was going to move on to 4. The brand does not seem to be showing up on Amazon tonight. Okay. I will link. Oh, is that what you're saying? I will link this thing in the description. I will find this one and I will link it in the description. We will find the love butt, the juicer that I use. We will find the love butt and I will put it in there. I'm telling you, Best juicer I've ever had, and I'm not a person that's only had one juicer. I had multiple juicers. Okay. Oh, yes, Bonbon. We are working on it. Bonbon has straws. They wouldn't give me to me tonight. The show's already gone 35 minutes. I don't think I can wait for the mail to get here too. Cheers to all of you, to all of our comrades, all of our bar people, the bar folk that are still out there looking for jobs after the COVID hit. I know it's been tough. Listen, this has not been easy on everybody. It has not been easy on almost anybody. We've all had to change something. Lucky for me, I got to do something that I really like. That doesn't mean that it's been super easy. So just know that we are feeling you guys, and pour one out. Not this, pour something else out for Lost Lake in Chicago, who, despite all their accolades, did eventually have to close their doors. Pew! That is delicious. That is amazing. That is perfect. It doesn't, I would not even be able to tell. I would not even be able to tell that this was a Campari drink. I would think, oh, they went just a slight over pour of maybe some bitters. That's it. This thing is awesome. This thing is spectacular. Super buy. Don't forget about this cocktail. Nice and easy. If you like a jungle bird, if you like a jungle bird, you're gonna love this one. Guarantee it. Alex's Life asking, can I recap real quick the drink, specifically that last liqueur? Absolutely, I can. Let's do that real quick. Alex is over on Twitch, and I don't know what shows up on Twitch. So if you show up on YouTube, the things are always in the description, but here, no. We need 2 ounces of a rum that tastes like rum. We need 3/4 ounce of passion fruit syrup. We need 3/4 ounce lime juice. We need 1/2 ounce of some pineapple juice. We need 1/4 ounce of maraschino or maraschino liqueur. We need 1/2 ounce of some Campari. And if you want to honor your friend Rich Whiffen, then you need just a touch of Passoa. Passoa is this guy, but you do not need that for this drink regularly. But if you want to honor Rich Whiffen, then that's the way to do it. So he never ever gets to use. We never use his bottle. So Low Carb Cocktail Guy says, my favorite juicer is the 1936 Juice-O-Matic. I personally, that's funny that you have. Oh, yes, Kyle might have spelled it wrong. We think it might be called the Luva Butt. The Luva Butt. We don't know yet. We're looking for it. I don't have it ready to go, but the Luva Butt. Check that out. My favorite juicer of all time, the Low Carb Cocktail Guy, is just a citrus juicer, and it's the Sun-Kissed one. You know, that big one that you can't find anymore? I've looked. Nobody has it anymore. It's a great juicer. This one will do everything. That one, it just, you put the rinds on top and it juice it. Pretty good. William Johnson asking, Passoa versus Chinola. They do 2 different things. Passoa is great. Passoa is great if you're not also adding any kind of sugar to your drink. If Passoa is going to be the sweetener in your drink, if the passion fruit is going to be the sweetener in your drink, then Passoa is great. Chinola, much better if you want a real passion fruit flavor. Chinola is the way to go. I was just able to have Chinola recently for the first time, and I will have it again. It was very nice, and it tastes just like passion fruit, and it gives you more options to use passion fruit as just an ingredient as opposed to having it be a whole crux. You can do Chinola and some honey syrup, or Chinola and some Demerara simple syrup. If you're doing Passoa, you don't have that other option to add sweetener. So personally, Chinola, but Passoa certainly has its uses. Okay. We've done it. Don't forget, please, don't forget. Sometimes I think what happens is you guys forget. Don't forget to like this show, subscribe, comment, and let's do this thing. Share the show. Helps out a ton. And then when we share the show and it becomes the biggest show in the world, hopefully one day I'll get to box Mike Tyson. That's what we're going for, guys. That's the whole reason we started this, so that Kush can eventually be big enough on YouTube to box Mike Tyson. I think Logan Paul's going to get killed. Sorry. Okay. That's that. That's what I got. We will be back here on Thursday to do a regular, normal, Thirsty Thursday show. I love that you guys suggested that we do this cocktail. If you think of other cocktails that you would like, send them to me. Listen, it helps out a ton if you guys send them to me, because then I don't have to. It's much more fun for me to go out and get the ingredients if I don't have them, than to sit and wonder about what happens during the show. Why am I waiting to the last second to get the show done? And then why do I feel so exhausted all the time? So send them to me if you can. If not, I'll think of something. I'll see you guys back here on Thursday. 1 second. William Johnson says they have a lot of juicers usually at the Goodwill, but secondhand juicing is dubious. That's a good point. That is a good point. You don't know what people are using that juicer for the first time, and I don't even want to think about it. As always, I want to say thank you, guys. I also really, really want to say...
Are you Dr. Jinga Janga?
Nobody ever answers that question. In the meanwhile, though, while we're figuring out who is Dr. Jinga Janga, I will say...
Bye!
Bye. Oh, dang. Push the wrong button again. While we're figuring out who Dr. Jinga Janga is...
I'm having a party, and you're invited!
Don't worry, you're invited. But then also...
Bye!
Bye.
What?
Wow.
How are you today? Bye! Bye!
This is the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay. Okay.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Oh, shots fired! Oh!
I'm in danger! Bye-bye, bye-bye.